What's up, guys? It's Chris, and I'm one with the Force. What is up, guys? And finally, we're talking about Star Wars. We're talking about the geeky stuff this channel was made for. I'm so excited. Today we got a special topic for you guys. Something that I just need to kind of get this out of the way so we can get on with the good stuff. You know, let's get this out of our system and move past it so that we can get excited for what's to come. We are going to be talking about The Last Jedi, and specifically some of the things that I didn't like. Now, I think anyone watching this video knows that The Last Jedi was without a doubt the most polarizing Star Wars movie. I mean, unless one of you old heads want to give me a lesson on that. Now, I guess I should say before we really get into this is that I was one who I liked The Last Jedi. My first viewing, when the credits were rolling, I didn't know exactly how I felt. I knew I liked it, but I didn't know exactly where I would land it, or just exactly how I felt. But after multiple viewings and I let everything digest, I was fine with the movie. Now, I did see a lot of the issues that other people had with it. Some of it I was able to, my reasoning was just from, looking into novels and maybe interpreting things a little differently. I was able to make sense of a lot of things that people struggled with, again, after I had seen it multiple times. But now that we've kind of, we're removed, we're coming up on Rise of Skywalker. We're over a year, released from Last Jedi, almost 2 years probably. So I've been able to digest it even more as we get closer to the Rise of Skywalker. And I kind of want to, I guess, let out some of the things I did not like about it. First, we're going to be talking about something that I actually defended, when I first saw the movie, but now it's all digested, I definitely look at it a bit differently, and that's going to be Leia, Leia flying through space. And obviously I remember all the memes, all the jokes when it came out, and initially my thought was, you guys, obviously people know that Rey is a Skywalker. She is a child of the Force. She could tap into it, and she knows this. We know through the novels like Bloodline that she knows her heritage. She knows what she's about now. Like, she understands it. Someone even asked her why she didn't go through, Jedi training and things. But anyway, so it's not unthinkable that she could use the Force in a way to save herself. That was, this is my initial thought, and I think there's a way they could do it even to where she survives in space and somehow, almost like a magnet, she uses the ship to just bring herself towards it. And I'm not saying that's not what she did, but the way they show it to us in the end, it's just kind of cringy. I think it doesn't, the way they show us just her static hand just flying through space like that, I think that's just a cringe-worthy shot. And when you're watching it, it just doesn't fit. If they just would have showed it to us in a different way, more in line with the Star Wars universe and things that we've seen, I don't think it would have landed with people so jarringly, because it was just we've never seen anything like that. Her just flying through space like that. But again, there were a few things like this in Last Jedi where they would have just shown it to us a little differently, or I don't know, just a little better execution. It would have been fine. Hear me out on this one, and this one it's a little tougher to explain. It's nothing that actually occurred in the movie, but I just wish that they would have, whether through marketing or maybe a different title, really emphasized that this movie was picking up right after The Force Awakens. Because when people came into this movie, there was so much speculation about what we're going to get, and just expectations. And when you watch the movie and you see that really it picks up right after The Force Awakens, guys, the scene where they're going after, the planet, the Resistance planet, it's the same one that from The Force Awakens that the First Order was after. Obviously Rey, she picks up right there, on the island with Luke. It picks up right then. The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi happened within definitely the same month. And I don't know, I just feel like people's feelings about The Last Jedi would be different if it was a Force Awakens Part 2 and we had another movie and then Rise of Skywalker to kind of build on these things. But instead it was, it is a sequel, and it happens in such a short period of time, and no other Star Wars movie does that. From 1 to 2 is a long period of time, from 2 to 3 is a good period of time, from 4 to 5 and then 6, there's periods of time in between all these movies and then from Force Awakens to Last Jedi, I mean it picks up like it is within a few days, like at the most, like between the end of the Force Awakens and the end of the Last Jedi. I mean that is within a few days, so that, I think that just that can't be lost in all this. And I feel like if they just would have either told us that through the marketing or sold it as a Force Awakens Part 2, people might have looked at it just a bit differently. But hey, that's just me. Now, these next two are things that, the Rise of Skywalker can definitely fix. I still think they're missed opportunities within The Last Jedi, but they're definitely things that the Rise of Skywalker can go in and kind of help fit into their narrative and their character arcs. First, we'll start out with Finn. Now, obviously, before The Force Awakens came out, and even, when it was out and after it came out, the speculation was Finn might be a Jedi, Force sensitive, he can hold the lightsaber, right, all that stuff. So I think, like a lot of things, The Last Jedi kind of just shut that down. There's really no chance of Finn being Force sensitive. Again, like they just didn't hint at that at all in The Last Jedi. I guess they could try to go back to that, but there's nothing we see, again, in The Last Jedi that would, show anything special about Finn. And I guess that's my problem, is that, we see his friend, die in the battle on the beginning of Force Awakens. And he, unlike any other stormtrooper that we see in movies, now this is not, I think that this, needs to be said, is that through the series and through the novels, we do see that stormtroopers had, like, not much, but, there are people under there, right? They do have thoughts and feelings. So, but as far as what we see on the movies, we have not seen anything that, like what Finn has shown us. So the fact that they haven't really, and they did a little bit as The Force Awakens went on, but they haven't really dove into that with his character, and they really didn't in The Last Jedi, at least significantly. Obviously, he had his role with going to Canto Bight with Rose, but they didn't really dig into, the conflicts he may have as a character, going through just growing up, being trained, being a soldier, relying on everyone, and now he's left. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know what this life is like, and we see him talk about that, but not in really a substantial way for someone with the weight that his character is supposed to have. I feel like they could have done something different with him than what they did in The Last Jedi. I'm not at all disappointed that he wasn't a Jedi or a great warrior. I think he's fine not being that, but I just think I liked his character better in Force Awakens, and I think they had a better layout for a direction that his character could go. And after Last Jedi, they just kind of left them just kind of flat. This next one touches my heart. This is, I think they should have did a lot better with Rey in the movie. Now Rey, let me be up front, Rey is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Absolutely fell in love with her in Force Awakens. Still in love with her now. And I don't mind what they did to her in The Last Jedi. And I don't think it's necessarily the reason that people think, I don't necessarily have a problem with what Kylo said to her about her parents, because I don't necessarily think he was telling the full truth, I think he was just saying what he wanted, what he think he needed to tell her at that moment. So, but as far as what I didn't like about her character, when you do the contrast of how much we got from Kylo's character in this movie, so much character for Kylo. We learn the character so much deeper. We know his struggle. We can feel and we can understand the character so much more based off the events we see and what happened between him and Luke, and their two different interpretations of that. Him and Snoke, their relationships. Snoke, scolding him about not being able to defeat Rey and do what he needs to do, and how that hurt Kylo. Like, we can see that. They give us so many moments in this movie that we can relate with the Kylo character. Now with Rey, the issue becomes Force Awakens left so many unanswered questions. Now again, Rise of Skywalker can fix this, but let's just talk about The Last Jedi. Is that, again, this actually goes back to what I'm talking about, is where The Last Jedi and Force Awakens happened in such a short period of time. Maybe for Rey's character, there just wasn't enough time to go into what I really wanted. Now listen to what I'm saying, is that she was, the questions about Rey were about her parents. Who is this girl? How is she so powerful? There has to be something about this girl. There has to be, right? And we don't figure that out. We don't really even get a hint of that in The Last Jedi. Instead, what they do is they just further reinforce everything we know, is that, well, other than their parents, but they further reinforce that she is just powerful. She is powerful because she is. Either she's chosen, but the Force is strong with her, and like Luke says it, like everyone knows the Force is strong with her. The light, as darkness rises, light to meet it. So they reinforce everything we see in Force Awakens already. In Force Awakens, we know she's very powerful. We don't know why she's that powerful, but she is clearly that powerful. Again, Last Jedi do the same thing, but they don't give us any reason as to why. And when they put that on top of what they say about her parents, people were kind of taken back by that. She was already a character that people were wanting to call, Mary Sue or overpowered, right? And they just kind of reinforced that without backing it up in any way. I just feel like they should have tried to give us something to make us understand why she's so strong, but they didn't. And again, Rise of Skywalker, I'm actually confident that the Rise of Skywalker will reveal something about her character. Not sure what direction that's going to go in, but there's something with her, guys. We know that if you actually take Kylo at his word, I would send you so much information and just make you think differently about that. She's something special. We just don't know it yet, and I just feel like the Last Jedi should have given us something, some kind of hint, and maybe it did. Again, I guess the Rise of Skywalker can go back and fix these. Maybe there was a hint that we just don't see because we don't have all the pieces. But as a Rey fan, I was kind of disappointed with what they did with her character. She's able to lift these rocks and do all these things. They just further enforce people's problems that they had with the Force Awakens without really backing her up in any way. And it didn't really take much to back her up. I'm not saying like you don't have to tell us who her parents are, but just give us something. Like I don't know. And there was Luke's training. I have to give that some respect. She did train with Luke and get that for a short period of time, but she got it. That counts for something. I don't know. I wanted, like, when you compare it to what we got with Kylo, it just seems like like Kylo got so much more, and I wish the same for Rey. I mean, who allowed that to happen? This is Luke Skywalker. And again, let's go back to what I've been saying. The Last Jedi picks up right after The Force Awakens takes off. We were left with this cliffhanger. Look, she's handing him the saber. She's looking in his eyes. Hey, it's like, save us. You have the power to do this. And he throws it over his shoulder. Like, this was the wrong decision. And not only is it misplaced humor, but you cannot do this as the cliffhanger. This is not where the joke. Everyone's been thinking about this exchange for years. This is huge. Not only this exchange between Rey, our new protagonist, but Luke, the most legendary character from the original trilogy. They're coming together, and you have him just throw over the lightsaber that belonged to his father, belonged to him, that now this girl that he doesn't know is bringing to him when he's isolated himself, removed himself from the Force, and she has found him and given him his saber, and he just throws it like, just, no, I'm done. And let me calm down. Luke I understand his character in this movie. I actually, not only do we see a lot of Jedis get to that point, we've seen it with them, but even just through storytelling, we see the old master. He's resistant to give the new person the training. We've seen that, and then eventually he comes around, right? And that's exactly what happens in Last Jedi. And this is why I always try to defend Luke, is that outside of this initial interaction between Rey and Luke, we see him gradually coming along. He gradually takes the steps to where, you know what? I need to step up. I am somebody that can do something about this, and I'm going to help. I'm going to train Rey, and I'm going to step in front of the First Order, right? He came to that realization. But him throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder, like, why did they have him do that? It's just not, it's horrible placement for a joke like that. This is a lightsaber. This is not like, you can't do that. And those two characters, their first interaction, you cannot do that. And it was clearly like a joke. Like the way they presented it to us, it's clearly a joke, but it just was misplaced. Like this, you have him just look at the lightsaber, just just sad like and just, you know, shaking his head. Like that's all you have to have him do. Just, you know what, you're here, but I can't do that. Just have him do something like that. Don't have him just throw it over the shoulder. And I promise you, without even realizing it, that scene is what shaped like what they were thinking throughout the whole rest of the movie. You know, even myself, someone that liked it, like there was definitely a feeling through watching it the first time where just some moments that were just kind of like, ugh, you know, I don't know about that. So again, I wanted to get all this out now. I do think that's the most critical scene. If they just would have done that a bit better, people would have, you know, took in The Last Jedi a lot differently as they were watching it. But again, I like The Last Jedi. I'm going to do a video talking about the things that I liked. I just wanted to get this out the way now because this is the elephant in the room about the Rise of Skywalker, about all the new Star Wars series coming, everything that's to come, everything that's happened. The Last Jedi is like that elephant in the room because it was so polarizing, and you know, I don't think anybody was quite ready for the damage, quote unquote, that it, you know, may have caused. But I'm excited. Like I said, look out for my video discussing the things that I do like about it. Again, I'm super excited about what's to come. You know, I'm a big Star Wars fan. What I'm saying, don't take this now. I like The Last Jedi. I like what we've got. I like what we got moving forward. So let me know what you guys may or may not have liked about The Last Jedi. Leave it in the comments. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for all things Star Wars moving forward. And I appreciate you guys watching.